What we are going to do now, we will have another guest, Олександр Барабашко, a popular Kiev-based blogger who doesn't like to be called activist. He is the author of live feeds from Євромайдан. Everyone was watching his live feeds on the day when he was streaming. So he was streaming a day before Громадське started broadcasting. Sashko, you have a great sweater, so please make yourself comfortable. Today, while we were talking to our guests, Ukrainian delegation headed by Ukrainian Vice Premier Boyko went to Moscow to attend the next meeting of Commonwealth of Independent States leaders. What do you think about it? They are supporting this pro-Russian stance, but they are sort of looking for the country which would give them more money to support their policies. So this is no surprise. Sashko, we're looking at what you're writing in social networks. Before Євромайдан happened, were you interested in politics at all? Because you seem to be a very good analyst. I've always been a good writer, but I now have high traffic. I have a lot of media people subscribing to my blog, and whatever you post on your blog, people pick it up and start expounding on it. So this at certain point people just got interested, and this whole thing gained momentum. Yes, I can. We're adding you to Громадського TV Facebook account. You are criticizing media coverage a lot, how they're covering recent events, and there was a very popular post of by Denis Kazansky, who was scaring people with horrible bloodshed over the past weekend on Maidan. And you said that this would definitely be a popular post. On the other hand, the author didn't bear any responsibility. But what you did in response was a very responsible thing. You wrote another post saying that there'll be no crackdown over the weekend. Yes, it was a similar post, but it didn't get the same number of likes. I was saying that, for instance, I was saying if there would be a crackdown, I would delete my post on Facebook. But the trends that are now unraveling are in line with the general hysteria, and people prefer monger gossips instead of reflecting on what's going on. And people who are interested in blogging, this is the ideal time for them to make a big time. And I believe that this Facebook post that was posted yesterday, which was reposted by 8,000 people and which was also covered by mass media, and politicians also started talking about it. This was a typical misinformation. I think we can also come up with an equivalent post containing information which will not be containing any destructive or violent messages. But for instance, if we say that if many people get together, clashes may occur and everything. So if we make such statements, if we start talking about bloodsheds, people will certainly be liking it. You can ask a couple of friends to repost, and you will end up with a similar popular post. So I am in fact very critical about this kind of activities in social networks. But if some people want to become famous, they're thinking about posting some fake videos that people will share, and you'll get better traffic, more likes. I think this is a matter of your personal responsibility. There are a lot of rumors circulating, and there are also events that are actually taking place, and you should think about what's your personal take on this is. You should either express your personal opinion, or you should post whatever comes your way, and this is not about supporting the authorities or the opposition. The thing is whether you care about what's going on in this country or not, and there should be some internal censorship of sorts. Gennady Moskal recently mentioned that his sources report. Actually, Gennady Moskal is very often a source for those bloggers who are reposting those rumors. He posted just 7 minutes ago that a lot of young people with criminal record were brought to Kiev, and they were actually handed out riot police gear and uniforms, and Mr. Moskal, the former police colonel, he called on the Minister of Interior, Mr. Zakharchenko, to respond to this. But Mr. Moskal is a politician. If he posts such things, if he makes such statements, he should have some responsibility for what he's saying. Yes, but media should also be responsible. But if you go to CensorNet and you look at what kind of news they're posting, 90% of their news, the sources of this information are not clear at all. Like, for instance, there was a screenshot of with a bulldozer, which was near the presidential administration, and a guard who was taking this bulldozer, driving this bulldozer to Bankova, and everyone said that this was definitely the riot police, the Berkut squad that organized that, but my friend took this pixel photo, and he photoshopped it by adding Alexander Lukashenko to this picture, and by looking at it you wouldn't say that Lukashenko, the president of Belarus, was not there. So and once people see those pictures, they start mass hysteria of sorts, and I haven't heard about any precedents when people would retract on their words or delete their post, which proved to be a gossip merely. So give us an example. You wrote that post that there'll be no crackdown over the weekend, and if I'm wrong, I will eat my post. Yes, because I have a friend, and I called him 2 days before the weekend, and what he told me was basically indicating that there would be a crackdown, and One day before the demonstration on Sunday, I called him and he said, no, everything was going to be fine, and I wrote the post, but I didn't want to look like I was the smartest one saying that nothing would happen and everyone else was wrong. It's just that revolutionary sentiments can be also raised in other ways. There's another piece of news. For instance, President Obama painted his face in Ukrainian national colors. This is definitely a fake. You were also saying that you were catching some of Ukrainian fakers red-handed. What exactly did you find? What fakes did you find? I'm actually quite surprised that people are bad at identifying fakes, because people who work for the media, intuitively they should understand right away that this is a fake. This is definitely fabricated news. For instance, if you see a link to a post where the name of the blogger is not mentioned or the sources are not mentioned, there was also a post about Titushki, the goons hired by the authorities who were hanging out in Mariinsky Park, and there was no one in Mariinsky Park at that point. They used some videos from a different time, and you can open it, you can look at it, but this is just nothing but spam. It was also signed by the name of Andrei Dzindzia, who is an activist of traffic police control NGO. And you might believe that this is a true post, but this is actually not. Yeah, it's very easy to post such fake news. You were also saying that a fake account by Kiselyov, a fake account for Kiselyov, a Russian journalist, was created. Actually, Ukrainian media were quoting a faked account of Surkov, the Russian a Russian politician, but this was terrible. Yes, but how could that happen? People are saying that journalists should always support what they are saying by photos, videos, and they should always provide direct quotes. These are banal things for journalists. This is a commonplace thing everyone knows. But tell regular people how they can discern, how they can differentiate between a faked account and a true account. When I talk to journalists, and I was recently shown a film by my journalist friends, Newsroom, and for journalist crew, for media crew, this is many people love it, and there are some actually commonplace things that are said in this movie. This is the rule of 3 sources. You should always check any information that comes your way from 3 sources. Very often, even if we hear fake news on TV, nobody takes any care of divulging it or refuting it, because some slowpokes who read some news on the internet that are 2 days old, they start bringing it up again and again. Yes, we've never heard somebody saying that, yes, 2 years ago we had a very nice, funny piece of news, and it turned out to be fake, so we'd like to retract our statement. Yes, this is not happening. People are sometimes inventing things that people might like just in order to improve their traffic on their blog. Some people are quite cynical. Media are also cynical, and they can feed people with any kind of news to improve their traffic. How can you tell fake from truth? Many journalists are not using the commonplace picture search function on Google. It is very easy to use, actually. You can search by the link, like for instance, this happened to Klitschko picture, which was posted by Leshchenko, Mr. Leshchenko, a Ukrainian journalist, like around a couple of weeks ago. Leshchenko wrote a post that Klitschko's girlfriend, American actress, supported Euromaidan, and he posted a picture which dated back to 2010, and it could be very easy to search this picture via Google and see that it was outdated. You were also complaining about the cumbersome nature of Ukrainian online journalists, that they didn't have small modems to be able to quickly stream their videos, unlike you, who could quickly stream the events via your blog. There are some people that I like because what they post is in line with their viewpoint, but I think that live feeds and streams are probably the most objective sources of information, because when you are online, you can read the news on a website which will say that there are 2,000 people protesting against something somewhere, and then you come there and you see that there are actually just 100 of people. So streams are very important. I used to organize those student parties at Kiev Polytechnical Institute. And roughly, when I was working in that student club, if you work there for 1 year, for instance, you can easily say how many people are in the club tonight and how much money the tonight's event would bring. You know how a crowd of 1,000 people should look like, and what 1,000 of people should look like, and you can definitely say how many people are gathering together. My friend, when we had this huge rally on Maidan, my friend Nazar, he did a simple head count, and he created a precedent. He created this grid that allowed him to count the actual number of people. In fact, what they're doing is a replica of Bolotna Square in Moscow. We will look at the anatomy of the protest, sort of, and how the authorities worked to discredit the Russian protests. So we shouldn't be inventing the wheel. We should analyze what's happening in other countries with similar protests. We just received the news that Dmytro Firtash refuted the news that he was looking to becoming a middleman between Russia and Ukraine in the bilateral gas trade. He said this was not going to happen. This was not true. They have also disseminated news through social network, a piece of news through the social network from Donetsk-based headquarters of the party of region, saying that hundreds of people were going to Kiev to protest at anti-Maidan rally. We actually checked this news and we found out that the Party of Regions was chartering additional trains from Donetsk. We don't know how many trains they are ordering on commercial basis from Ukrainian railways. Actually, there is such a service. Tourist companies, for instance, can order additional charter trains. So this seems to be legal. Yes, I also heard the news from other oblasts, but it can easily be checked in the digital era. My friend, for instance, wrote a post saying, let's just go to Ukrzaliznytsia Ukrainian Railways website and see if they have enough free tickets, unclaimed tickets. If you check, for instance, their website for tickets from Donetsk to Kiev on Saturday night, if you see that there are a lot of unclaimed tickets, it means that they are not actually bringing that many people by rail to Kiev. So this is actually doesn't take much effort on your part to do that, to check it on the railway's website. But the problem is that people actually don't care. They just read the news and they never check whether it's true or not, or contacting the people who published this news, saying that we read it on your page, on your Facebook page. Or, for instance, I also saw these screenshots of Ukrainian special riot police forces members' accounts in Vkontakte social network. This is the Russian version. A Russian social network, but many of those accounts were actually set up on December 3. Actually, my colleagues were monitoring some of social network accounts of Berkut officers, but there were also some fake ones. We heard a statement from Mr. Akhmetov today that he was actually condemning violent dispersal of protesters. But Mr. Leshchenko, also a journalist from Ukrainska Pravda, also published another piece of news today saying that there was actually a meeting of Mr. Akhmetov and Ms. Nuland from U.S. Department of State, and she allegedly said that sanctions will be imposed not only against officials that are Party of Regions members, but also to others who used to support this party. So, judging from that news, the U.S. may be considering imposing sanctions on the supporters, the money bags behind the Party of Regions, and maybe she told Mr. Akhmetov about it. So Catherine Ashton was very careful about it, but of course there's a lot of diplomatic international support to Ukraine. A lot of statements are being made by diplomats, and it is not only interesting to Ukraine. They also hold a stake. They want Ukraine to continue on its European path. I think when Catherine Ashton was here, and there was this dispersal of protesting crowds during the night, of course, the reaction of this top official from the EU would be very different. Should this should this have happened in 2004 during the Orange Revolution. So they are stating their position, but their reaction is not that strong, given the severity of the events that were taking place. So diplomats are very careful in talking to Ukrainian authorities. So could you tell us about how you've been living over the past several weeks? You are streaming all the time. So how can you live at such a pace? Are you also covering all your costs out of your own pocket? Well, people who were watching my streams, they were saying maybe we can chip in and give you some money if you want to continue streaming. And you're also approached by some Ukrainian media. They were offering you jobs. Yes, but my personal take on that is that paying 100 hryvnia for internet per month and adding another 100 for higher traffic, that's not too much. 200, I can afford that, and I can also buy additional charger for my phone. But why are you doing this at all? Well, it just so happened. On the first day, I was just excited. I was interested in streaming my live video, my live broadcast, so that people could watch it online. This is just social journalism, whatever you want to call it. And then people started writing me saying that we are waiting for your live feeds. And how many people were watching you back then? I don't know, sometimes 5,000, sometimes 10,000. It always depends on the actual events. But this is cool, in fact. You started streaming from scratch, and you get such a big audience. We were also watching how internet responded to our streams, and people reacted. There were posts on dirty.ru and Dvatch and other websites. Sometimes I was also using some tough language. I was just doing what I would do in regular life if I was the eyewitness of the events. I'm not telling people, please donate 10 hryvnias or 1 hryvnia. It's just that once people start making donations, it obliges you to report to people on how you have spent the money, and everyone will expect this report from you every day. You have a great TV station here. You're making public reports and everything. This is great, but imagine me starting raising funds, saying that you should be. It would be very difficult for me to actually report on how I've spent the money. Sashko is very good at checking everything. He's checking when social network accounts were set, what are the sources of news and everything. You were mentioning our public report. The one that we posted on our website is not our final report. This is just a tentative financial report. The detailed one will be published in January. Yes, but you can say in your report that, for instance, we bought office equipment for 100,000 or something. But when we had your Russian colleague here, a guy who's making live feeds in Russia, he was saying when we had live feeds, he said this is sacred. I understand, because some of our guests are getting nervous when we interrupt them in the middle of the interview. By live feed. So we're going to have a live feed now. This morning, riot police blocked Institutska Street, and these are this is a riot police squad from Simferopol, Crimea. This is Громадське TV. My name is Sergey Krishin, and I'm now reporting from Institutska Street. What I can see here is that this is an exit from Krishyatik metro station, the upper exit, and buses have blocked the street. This is riot police. These are riot police buses, so you cannot even take a turn to Horodetska Street. Officer, good morning. What's going on here? Why did you block the street? Why? We blocked the street. Why did you? You should ask over there. I need to go to Horodetskaya Street. Can I park my car here? Yes. So you don't know why they blocked the street. You just saw that they blocked the street, and you're standing here telling the drivers that they should turn around. Yes. Okay. So we have a traffic police officer who is telling the drivers to go back, and we will now try and talk to the riot police and say why they blocked, and ask them why they blocked the street. Good morning. You blocked the street. Why did you do this? We were told to block the street, not to let vehicles go towards towards Independence Square. All kinds of vehicles. Yes. How long are you going to be blocking the street? I don't know. So you're just waiting for an order. Yes. Once we get an order, we will unblock it. Yeah. This is what the colonel told us. Once they get an order to unblock the street, they will stop blocking it. And this is what's happening at Institutska Street, which leads to Maidan Nezalezhnosti from the hills of Pechersk. So this looks a bit like a soap opera.
Ну, давай ти пишеш, ми через Фейсбук це все будемо давати. Ти порекомендувати, краще скажи, в тебе були доволі критичні ще заяви з приводу українських журналістів, їхньої некреативності такої візуальності. Не роблять, ліняться, не роблять фотографії там, де можуть робити, що там у росіян кращі фотографії.
You're saying that Russian online journalists are more creative, they post better quality pictures, etc. So can you kind of sum it up what you were actually talking about when you posted this critique? I'm writing about things that get on my nerve. There are also other elements to it. The coolest event that may take place in Ukraine, there will be thousands of people that will say that this is just bullshit. And sometimes when I check some piece of information, I take extra care to analyze what it is talking about, and of course, if it's not clear who posted this news, I will never use it. You are a blogger. Sometimes people are calling others journalists or bloggers. Why you don't want to be called? I think these are just labels. People are calling themselves bloggers, etc. The thing is that the bloggers can do what journalists cannot permit themselves doing. So. I think we shouldn't actually think about it. We should just do what we should do in the best possible way. But what do you mean in the best possible way? I can tell you what is the worst possible way. The worst possible way is when you are posts that you can read on Ukrainska Pravda from 50% of their contributors. when they write things like we took this criminal regime and we threw it against the asphalt and we crashed it. And that's 50% of contributors to Ukrainian social networks. This is what they are writing. This is and they kind of make people accustomed to this kind of trash. And when you really want to understand what's going on in Ukraine, you need to go to foreign websites or some top websites from Runet. People are much more experienced. They have much more expertise. But when you go to Twitter and you see how Ksenia Sobchak, the Russian socialite, and another Russian socialite, Kandelaki, are quarreling with each other, this is a whole new level. This is a very different level of communication. What is happening now in Ukraine looks more like a rebellion rather than a revolution. But it helped. It gave some food for online news site to news websites as well as to Євромайдан TV. People are setting up websites and making them more popular overnight. Actually, I understand that. I understand that you are young generation and you don't want to write all this bullshit about crashing the regime down. You are more realistic. So basically, you are a generation that didn't participate in the 2004 Orange Revolution, and you have a different idea about how things should be covered. Yes, in 2004, I was I was 14 years old back then, and I was not critical at all about what was happening. Like, I saw Yushchenko, and I understood that I should follow Yushchenko, and I didn't give it a thought. But there was also great disappointment. But anything, it was a very important event, I believe, and I don't know what Ukraine would be like had there been no Orange Revolution. So I think what's interesting about this revolution is that people are now not using any partisan colors. They are using Ukrainian national flag colors. And what is really getting on my nerve is that following this revolution, the blue and yellow flag and Ukrainian anthem, should the revolution fail, may evoke some negative reaction in people, but there are also many people, many artists, many prominent people on Maidan. Well, in fact, Maidan is very similar to the Orange Revolution. The only thing that's lacking is a Grinjoli band together who sang this rap "Together We Are Many." In 2004. Actually, Vesti newspaper found Grinjoli. You can read an interview with them on their website. This is what the media do often nowadays. They would, for instance, find people who were in media spotlight in 2004, 2005, and they would ask them how. What's your take on current events? The events that are now taking place give a lot of opportunities for people to express themselves to get media attention. Like, for instance, I now get more media attention, but it doesn't mean that I wasn't doing what I'm doing now before this revolution, that I hadn't been doing what I'm doing now before this revolution started. So I just showed people an instrument that many people picked up, that they're using, which is cool. I think I've completed my mission already. Other there were other protests like Occupy Wall Street, Occupy Bolotna Square in Moscow. We're learning from them. I, for instance, when during the protests in Russia, I was also making live feeds showing how many people got together on Bolotna Square. Can you tell us how we can make sure that there are no disruptions of our live feeds? There are people. There's a very good expert on that, a young guy. He knows how streams can be broken down in smaller elements, which can actually enable you to get a very high quality picture during live streams. So basically what you can do, you can go to the place where actual events are taking place, and you can tell this is what's happening. But you could also say the opposition didn't do a good job, these people were lazy to respond quickly, etc., etc. You can also provide your viewpoint. You also seem to be well versed in geopolitics. Well, I'm writing what I think. I'm writing about what I think. If people don't like what I'm writing, they can always unsubscribe. People who don't care, they can always unsubscribe. Others can comment. People are also making their judgments. Usually, I'm busy in the morning and in early afternoon because apart from my civil position, I also need to be making some money. And people who are taking grants, they really get on my nerve. But we have to say officially that the equipment that you see here was bought with grant money. I'm not talking about you. You are doing a cool thing which has no equivalent. So why do you think some people can use grants, others can't? There are people who are actually getting good money in the form of grants, and basically what they're using them for, they're just not going to work because they have money, they have a stable source of income, and with which they buy food, they pay their rent, and they have a lot of free time. They can if I had time on my hands, if somebody told me, you don't need to go to work, you have enough money to live off, just do what you can do. But they're not doing any good. Americans were saying that media are business. However, this statement is now being reversed by what's happening with some publications. There's a publication ProPublico, and it is supported by private sponsors. It is supported with grants. Somebody realized that low-quality media are no longer profitable, and they will go off the market. What you're doing, you're selling a quality product. If you were covering, if you were covering fake news, nobody would be interested in watching you, and you're getting the grants because you have a good audience. So basically, production of high quality content is very resource intense, and in the US, monetization of YouTube, for instance, their turnover of cash is actually huge, and of course you can provide live feeds cheaply, but you cannot do investigative journalists without any financial support. Activists that blocked highway in Vasilkiv, trying to prevent Tiger special police force from coming to Kiev, are now charged with impeding with the work of government services. So I'm not going to go into much detail. Because they were blocking the road, an old lady, an ambulance couldn't get to an old lady, and they did get to her and saved her life, but she could have died. So they charged them. They pressed criminal charges against them. They have already started interviewing witnesses. But what about another event? What about the crackdown on a peaceful demonstration on November 30th? They're not interviewing any witnesses so far. Yes, everyone demanding that this be done, but nobody is doing that. In Vasilkiv, they have already started the investigation, and we have already forgotten about the fact that people were demanding an investigation of the events on the night of the 30th of November 30th. Because there are other people in high places that are demanding this investigation to be done, Jose Manuel Barroso is calling on parties in Ukraine to avoid radicalization. He told about it during his official visit to Colombia. He reminded President Yanukovych that he should respect human freedoms and human rights. Can I step in for 4 minutes ago, Vyacheslav Vakarchuk, famous Ukrainian singer, wrote in his Twitter that we have a very fun bearded guy on Громадського TV right now who is the symbol of Ukrainian future. You see, when a celebrity is writing a post about it, you should now check how many people friended him on Facebook now after Vakarchuk wrote this post. Yeah, you know, people like to show off when a celebrity mentions them. If you tell us now that you're a modest guy, you'll get more friends on Facebook. There was another post on the internet that we have an internet nerd in the studio of Громадського TV. He's a typical internet nerd. He is actually he isn't it modest because many people are saying they have a cool guy, a cool bearded guy in their studio. My mother's living in Volyn Oblast, and people started telling her, your son is making live feeds, and my parents do not have any idea of about what the internet is, what live feeds are. Of course, they care a lot about what is happening in the country, but I actually recommend to all of us journalists to
що це от суперважно для всіх. Насправді є інші люди, для
To understand that the information that they
Таке,
report,
що робити? От що
very
ви
often they
нормально
think
розказуєте?
that this is important information to everyone, but actually there are people who care about other things.
Чути, про що люди говорять там в маршрутках, про те, що чути, що люди
You should also take public transport when you go to work. You should sometimes listen to what people are saying in the metro.
Вчора зранку і приїхав на маршрутці, кілька зупинок.
Yesterday I took a bus, a public bus, and I rode several steps, and I could hear radio playing in that bus, which was saying that Maidan, I beg you
А я так і не почула на останнє
to leave. So and they were also saying that the radio hosts were saying that the municipal services that were cleaning the city were real heroes. So what do you do? I understand your point that we should be talking to people more to understand what they really want to learn from our news media. But one thing is listening to people in Kiev, the other thing is what people living in rural area think. For instance, you just need to make sure that you talk to different strata in the society. I often hear people. When I talk to my friends, I get this feeling that they think that everyone has a Facebook account. Actually, we have millions of people who are spending their time in Vkontakte, the Russian social network, and nobody's caring about them. No, I can formally tell you that Громадське TV now has an account in Вконтакте.
Він її прибрав і тепер допомагає мені модерувати нашу сторінку ВКонтакті.
There was initially a page that was set up by a friend of mine, and now he's doing it jointly with me. Thank you very much, Sashko. We had Sashko Barabosco here with us. Sometimes people are calling me Krus. You can just call me Krus because in social networks you often have to use both your first name and your last name. So Svetoslav Vakarchuk is now following you in Ustream, and I'm So you can find me as Krus on Ustream.